So, something really incredible happened a couple mornings back, and I wanted to share this insight with everybody to really really stress this point how all emotions must be felt. They must be felt. They're here for a reason. They're a gift. God gave them to us as guidance, as a gift, and they're here for a reason, and they must be felt out in order to process and move on. The other day, I was watching my niece and nephew, and before going to bed, my niece said, "Oh, I don't really want to go to school tomorrow. I'm not feeling good." So I said, "That's okay. We'll see how you feel in the morning. Don't worry about that now. We're going to sleep and you'll see how you feel in the morning. If you don't feel up to it, don't have to go." And then she went to bed. And she woke up in the morning and she was fine. And then as we were getting ready for school, I could tell that she was getting anxious. She was getting really anxious. And she said, "I don't want to go to school." And I can tell, she was trying not to cry, trying to stay strong. Um, and I, from my perspective, I had a doctor's appointment I had to get to, and I was running late. I had so many things that I still wanted to do before going to this doctor's appointment, and I didn't really have time for a child who doesn't want to go to school. And she started crying, and I said, "It's okay, don't worry, I'll pick you up after school, and we're gonna have the best day, and we'll go to the park," and trying to and um and then I caught myself, and I was like, "Schiffer, what are you doing? Like, she's afraid and she's anxious. Like, hear her out." And I took a breath, and note here that I could have gone down that route of "I'll take you for ice cream, I'll buy you a doll, we'll have a good time, and your teacher's so nice," and I could have done all of that, and I would have probably still been there now doing that. Or I took this breath and I sat down and I said, "I know you're afraid of school, right? You don't want to go." And she just burst out crying. She burst out crying and she's like, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go to school." And she was getting to that, hyperventilating, anxious cry. And I said, I know. Why don't you want to go?" And she said, "I just don't like it, and I'm digging. I'm like, "I know, okay. I also didn't like school. Why don't you like it?" And she said, in her words, "The teacher makes me do hard things." And even then I could have said, "Oh, if the teacher makes you do it, then tell you don't want to do it, or I'll call the teacher." We don't want to see kids hurting and kids suffering, and so we want to just help them in our way that we think is helpful. But all she needed was me to hear her. And I said, "You know what? I also didn't like school. When I was a kid, the teacher also made me do really hard things, and I really didn't like it." And she said, "Yeah, she does. She really makes me do hard things." And I said, "And you know what? Even if she makes you do hard things, you're okay. It's okay. Don't have to worry. It's okay. It's okay to feel like you can't do hard things." And as I'm talking to her and listening to her, she's calm. She's calm. And this, no exaggeration, this whole thing took under 5 minutes. Obviously, I can't say and guarantee that this would be, under 5 minutes in every circumstance. But in this situation, it was under 5 minutes. I sat down with her on the floor and I told her, "I'm here for you and I want to hear why you don't want to go to school. And if you don't want to go, you don't have to go. I'm here and I love you and you're okay." Just so much positive love and affirming that she's okay, that she is okay. Even if you can't do the hard things, you don't want to do the hard things, the teacher makes you do the hard things, you're okay. No one can make you feel that you're not okay. That was my point I was trying to tell her. But I couldn't say that. I had to first listen to her and ask her. I was trying to dig and pinpoint why she didn't want to go to school. And then when she told me the teacher makes me do hard things, and she just fully cried. And that I had to calm her down, that cry that you can't really catch your breath. I'm getting triggered. No, I'm kidding. And so I calmed her down. And then I said, "Even if you feel like you can't do hard things, you're okay." And she's like, "Okay." And she just stopped crying. She finished getting dressed, and then she said to me, "Can you pick me up from school today and make sure you come early and you'll wait right behind the bus?" She gave me really strict instructions, and I looked at her straight in the eye and I said, "I promise you I will be there. I'm going to be there before you even finish school." She wanted me to come straight from my doctor's appointment, and I said, "I'm going to come straight from my doctor's appointment." And And then she was fine. She went, she had breakfast, and she just went skipping to school. And it was such a powerful moment for me because I deal a lot with kids and I love working with kids, but never so much in this capacity. Kids are, they're always having a fairly good time when they're coming to after school programs. But this was a genuine moment where I had the awareness to see that I didn't have time for her this. Like, I didn't have time for her to hear her. And that was what she needed. She just needed to be heard. And B, I had this awareness that she didn't need, we don't need, and this is a lesson for ourselves too. We try and make things better for them, and for kids especially, we don't want them to be in pain, and so we cover it up right away. Like, oh, I don't want to go to school. Oh, don't worry, go to school and I'll buy you ice cream, or I'll buy you a doll, or I'll take you to the park, or you're gonna be amazing, it's gonna be good. And it's like, that's not what the kid cares about. That's not what they need. That's not what the emotion needs. She needed to be heard. It needed to be felt. It needed to be processed with the crying. She had to let it out, and then she was able to move on. And then from that point, if you still need to, we'll have a great afternoon when I pick you up. We'll go to the park, and we'll sing songs and we'll play and whatever it is, right? If you have to do that from that point for something for her to look forward to, that's when you do it. But she needed to be heard. Her emotions, her feelings had to be heard. And that's really what I want to stress